Welcome to Life and DNA with Amanda Renee. I'm so glad you joined me today. Let's get started. Today I promised on my last homeschool video that I would bring out my son's paleontology course that he's going to be doing next year and bring all the books out and show you. And so that's what I'm going to do today. I picked a couple of extra books that I had just because I've found them extremely interesting. I do want to reread them at some point, and I have a really long list of books I want to read though. So I put them in there so that I can show you those too. Again, I use master books in my homeschooling almost exclusively. I'll add something else in if I think that I need to. Like I've mentioned before, I use Spelling UC with my son. This last course of it was because they were trying out a new course, and so I signed up to get it free if I would test it out for them and talk about it. So, yeah, that's what I'm doing with that. It really is helping him with his reading and his spelling. A lot of that could also be just his age. He's getting older. He's 10 now, but his reading is like improving crazy fast, faster than it has for him before, and his spelling is pretty good. He's getting way more confident with that. So I'm gonna keep doing this course. At least he'll go. We only have 8 weeks left in this year. I know that sounds crazy, seeing as how everyone else is graduating already, but we school all year round, and so we won't be finished until probably mid-July, and then we'll start back up mid to late August. I give him about a month between grades, so yeah, we'll do that. But so he's only on week 7 with that. So he'll still be doing that even when he's in 5th grade. And yeah, I'm liking it so far. It's really good. It does a lot of they have to read it, copy it, and then you dictate it to them, and then they look for different like vowel chunks, consonant chunks. They look for different things every week, and yeah, so it's been helpful. But aside from that, we use master books. They are very easy, open and go, biblically based. And I don't mean by that, I don't mean a Bible verse thrown in here and there. I'm talking it is in everything they do. I mean, my daughter's pre-algebra course is the whole lesson. They teach you how to do what they're telling you to do. They apply it to real life. But then there's always a little keeping focus, I think they call it, at the end of the chapter, and it brings it back to God and just reiterates and reiterates that, you know, the world can count on math and it always being constant because God created it and God is constant and He put those things in place for us. And so I just love that about them. So the elementary paleontology course looks like it's gonna be pretty thick with their worksheets, and these are the books that come with it. I'll show you those individually in a minute. And you can go in order the way they tell you, or if there's a particular book you're wanting to use, it tells you the page numbers for those worksheets that go with the individual books if you wanted to change it up. Yeah, and their teachers' guides are always pretty much the workbook, but it includes everything the teacher needs as well, so that you're not buying 2 different books. So they always have, this one has a materials list for if you want to do any of the projects. And it continues on the second page. So there's a lot. And they always have their schedule. I love their schedules. Oh, I love their schedules. It's short, sweet. The kids typically don't lose interest because the lessons are kept, age appropriate and at a decent level. I've always loved that. Now, a lot of times with our schedule, I have to double up with my son a couple times, like this week, because we didn't get home until Monday, and then we had so much to do on Tuesday to catch up. My son and I had to double up 2 days this week instead of just one. But we don't normally do that. We normally only have to double up on one day if I have a staff meeting to go to. So I've looked through the workbook. It has a lot of different things. Like this was matching and then short answer. You match the dinosaurs and the different parts of the dinosaur. But it also has little fun things like a maze. I saw one where if you have younger kids, they make little masks or little brown paper bag puppets with little dinosaur heads. And the whole book's that way. It's just kind of different things off and on. They have the projects in there. So I think my son's going to really like that. He likes when he doesn't have to give long answers. And I put these books in order. So you know the order that they're going in. And they have Dinosaurs for Kids by Ken Ham. Love Ken Ham. Oh gosh, if I could move to where he has the Ark encounter and then the Creation Museum. Oh my gosh, I would love to work there. They have like science labs and do all kinds of things behind the scenes too. Yeah, that'd be like a dream job for me. But he wrote this book, and so they go into a lot of the different kinds of dinosaurs, fun facts about certain ones. It goes through a few of them. This one in particular talks about, where did I see that? It goes through a path of how they were formed. At first they were fearless, and then the fallen world, the flood, faded because things became extinct, found when everyone started discovering the fossils, and then fiction when it goes into debunking evolution. And I love that about master books. Ken Ham, a lot of their books tie into Answers in Genesis, but a creationist worldview, it's really counterculture. I hate that. Every single TV program, every single science book outside of Christian circles, and sometimes even in certain Christian circles, promote the millions of years and promote the evolution worldview. And honestly, if you actually look at the evidence and not just the biased, here's what did happen. My daughter's learning a lot of this in her logic course. And if you study logic, and then you go and listen to anybody talking about evolution, you will see that they are using a lot of fallacious arguments in there. It's a lot of, well, I'm just going to say that you're stupid because you believe in creation, versus having any evidence to back up evolution. So, I love that Master Books is big on that. I mean, they are very, very, very big on that, because creation worldview is a biblical worldview, because that is what the Bible says. And while I'm not going to debate that on my channel, that is what I believe. And a lot of their master books is learning why we believe that. I mean, I have learned so much just helping my kids and learning with my kids, that it's increased my faith in that and cemented it even more than it was before. Before, I believed just because I'm a Christian. I believe the Bible. I read it. I believe it. There you go. But now I know why I believe it, and it's great. But anyway, back to the books. This one is Dinosaurs of Eden. So talking about what dinosaurs were like before the fall, going into like 7 days, and talking about in the Bible, the term dinosaur wasn't coined, I think, until 1800s. And so before that, they called them other names, and a lot of the time it was dragon. And Master Books actually has quite a few books. I should have pulled the other one. They have a book all on dragons and where some of the lore kind of came from, and what animals, what dinosaurs people may have been referring to when they talked about specific types of dragons. But it goes into like the flying dinosaurs, the aquatic dinosaurs. It talks about a lot of different ones. I love going through courses like this with my kids, because this is all stuff they didn't know when I went to school. So, although it makes me feel old, I love it. Then the next one is Dinosaurs by Design. And the thing I love about another thing I love about Master Books is the big colorful books. Like, I love all the great pictures. It shows you where certain dinosaur fossils have been found. Doesn't look like anything's found where I live. I do know mammoths have been found in southwest Oklahoma, though, so that's always nice. Talking about restoring fossils and how they go into that. Dinosaur family life. Size of their brains. What their teeth look like. So yeah, that one goes into a lot of detail there. Sorry, my husband is texting me. And Dragons of the Deep is next. I actually had this book almost since I started with Master Books. When I first discovered them, I ordered several books up front that they didn't even have the paleontology as a course. They just had some of these books as for sale separate, just for people that were interested in dinosaurs. And then they finally put it all together into an actual course. And so a few of these I already had before he took the course. I just had to order the workbook and a couple other things. This was one, especially we went to a museum in Norman, and they were having a megalodon. No, not megalodon. What's the name of the big shark? The one the Meg is based off of. Anyway, they had an exhibit with that. They had like a replica of it may have been an actual jaw of one. And you stood in it, and they had it open, and you stood in it, and it was still all the way to the ceiling. And I'm pretty tall, and yeah, it was crazy seeing that. So this one talks about some of those. Maybe I'll find it and figure the name out. But it goes through a bunch of different ones. Some I had never heard of. Like I said, they have discovered so many. Oh, it was Megalodon. Okay, I was right. Yay. You never know with my memory. It's crazy. They've discovered so much since I was in school, as far as like dinosaurs and fossils and biology and DNA. I love it so much. But yeah, they go through bunch of different ones, so he'll get to learn about all of that. It's like the giant squids, all the way up to like an ancient sea turtle, and I think there was one that was like a crocodile. I know they mentioned it in his zoology book, and the sucker was huge. Anyway, that book goes through all of that. The sea dinosaurs, the aquatic dinosaurs. And then the last book that he'll study, unless I switch it and make him get it over with first, because it doesn't go into details about dinosaurs, but it is an adventure book, The Great Alaskan Dinosaur Adventure. So it is about the 5 men who went and dug up a lot of the fossils and found a lot of the things in Alaska. So it has some pictures and some drawings, and it is about their adventures there, which is great. But like I said, I might let him do that first, so that way he's not, give him something to look forward to with the dinosaurs. And then the other 2 books I wanted to mention are The Genius of Ancient Man and The Secrets of Ancient Man. These books were awesome. When they have them, I don't want to give up my copies because I love these books, but when I find them on sale again, I do want to get them for my pastor. He likes to read, and he also likes history. And ever since I started going to church there, I wanted to get these books for him because I do think that he would appreciate them. And especially in The Genius of Ancient Man, it's been a while since I've read them, but I was so amazed. I mean, I went to public school, and obviously you're taught from a secular point of view, and I had Christian teachers, being from the small town that I was from, but it is amazing what seeps into your worldview on things, just because, I mean, every movie, cartoon, TV show, everything has it drilled into us that ancient man they were cavemen, they were stupid, they were drooling and grunting and making animal sounds, and, knocked a woman on her head and dragged her to his cave. Like, that's how they portray things. That's how you think it was until you read these books and you see what archaeologists and historians have actually found. It's crazy. Like, it was mind-blowing. It explains a lot because you see the pyramids, you see Stonehenge, you see things like that, and some of the statues from way back, and you're like, well, if they were primitive and stupid, how did they do those things? How did they think of them? How did they physically do it? And when you read this, you understand, and it makes total sense. Once I read it, I was like, duh. Of course, that makes sense. When God created Adam and Eve, they walked and talked with him, the creator of everything. He had just spoken everything into existence. just created everything, and they got to walk and talk with him. They got to ask him questions. Whereas we ask him questions and we can find answers in the Bible and we can have the Holy Spirit, but like, they got to just walk with him and ask him questions until they messed up. But how much knowledge do you think Adam had? And Adam and Eve lived in a perfect environment. They were created perfectly. They didn't have mutations and messes up in their, things messed up in their DNA. They had perfection. And I think it may even talk about that. Like, how much of their brain did they use? We are the stupid ones. In comparison, we are the downgraded ones. Yes, you went in history. There was the Dark Ages and time periods like that where things got lost. And Pompeii, civilizations got totally wiped out and totally lost. And then things had to rebuild. So we know more and can do more than people a few hundred years ago. But you go back the 6,000 years that, according to the biblical timeline, if you go back to that, they knew way more. I mean, Noah built an ark. He knew how to build boats. Like, it's crazy. They knew way more than we do. And if you think about it, what they had before the flood, what they could have known and built before the flood, we're never going to see anything from that. The water and everything, the churning and the tectonic plates moving and everything from the flood wiped every bit of evidence out from all of that. So who knows what they had before the flood, but after the flood, the things that they've found from ancient civilizations is way more advanced than we ever thought. They were not. Yes, there were nomads that lived in caves, but that was not the whole picture at all. And so I highly recommend these books, especially if you're interested in history at all. It is just, it puts everything in perspective, and it really does make so much sense. I mean, think about the Tower of Babel. Why would God say we need to go down there and confuse their languages? Because if we don't, anything they put their mind to, they're going to be able to accomplish it. And they were trying to build a tower to heaven. I mean, think about it. We can't do anything that's making God come down here and try and confuse us because we aren't that smart. We think we are with our little smartphones and computers, and while all that's great, like, they were doing stuff without the aid of computers. Crazy detailed stuff. So, yeah, it was pretty cool. Like, chapter 6, advanced technology. I mean, the fact that they got those statues, like, crazy symmetrical, and they didn't have computers to do it for them. Crazy. Astronomy, the fact that they could plot that, and again, no computers, no super telescopes like we have today, not, at least not the same way. Just trying to think. I know at the end of this, there was one thing that they discovered that blew my mind. And it was almost like a piece of technology. I can't remember what it was. It was almost like a timepiece. Like what would have been like a modern watch. I can't remember where it was. But anyway, it's in there too. But it's crazy. And it goes through all of that. It may have been in The Secrets. The Secrets of Ancient Man. That one was really interesting too. And they both, I believe, go through different continents and different civilizations. And they tell you kind of, piece by piece about that. But yeah, like the ancient buildings, idiots weren't the ones building that. It wasn't, it's just crazy that we have the arrogancy to think that just because, they lived thousands of years ago, that they were stupid compared to us. Let's see. Yeah, this was one of the things. And it had, you can see that, they said it's over 2,000 years old. It has gears in it. Yeah. So, anyway, sorry for my rant, but those books were really, really great. Again, if you're interested in history, there's another one, and I've read it recently about the Tower of Babel, and it's on Master Books too. That one was so interesting. I'm not even that interested in languages, but it follows it. He's one of the ones that wrote one of my DNA books that I've been working on reading, and he's used DNA and different history and stuff in trace. But in that book, the Tower of Babel book, he uses languages to trace back that so many languages are connected, and I think there's even a chart that shows you what each language goes back to. Like, they can trace that back to the area around the Tower of Babel, of where and which one, I think, of Noah's grandsons that traces to. Like, it's crazy. It's really, really cool book. So if you're a history buff like me, you might be interested in that one. It's really good. But yeah, that's all I had for today. I just knew I had promised I would bring that course out for you to see. If your kid likes dinosaurs, I'm pretty sure this one's going to be a great one. I'm excited to read it with my son. It probably won't be one I let him do on his own, just because I want to learn it too. And that is a perk of homeschooling that I really, really like. So yeah, and I hope you'll join me next week. I'll have another video out for you, or episode out for you. Thank you for joining me today on Life in DNA with Amanda Renee. Come back next week and I'll have a new episode. Thank you. Bye.